As we said earlier, the police, who have been investigating this crime for more than 6 months now, believe that they're close to making an arrest. But any relevant information remains as vital as ever. So if you think you know anything which might help the investigation, then please call 0208 247 4567. That's 0208 247 4567. And that's all for tonight and for this week. We are back as usual next Thursday right after the ITV News at 10. Until then, from all of us here, good night and thank you for joining us.
Next, we join Sherry Eugene for the late-night update of the region's news.
It's the home improvement show to DIY for.
I think it's going to change their life, really.
Carol Borderman's Better Homes, Monday, 8:30.
It's expensive, it's unreliable, it's MOT time, and your car's a wreck. But to us, it's a deposit. CARCRAFT, there's over 1,500 cars in stock. CARCRAFT, many cars at £25 per week. CARCRAFT, £99 or any old car with or without an MOT as a deposit. CARCRAFT at Empress, where in most cases you can drive away in an hour. We're easy to find, Junction 24, M4. Follow signs for Newport Stadium.
Daddy, what's that drumming inside you?
That's my heart.
Why is it drumming then?
Well, that's the sound it makes. See, your heart's really important. That's why I go running. And I watch what I eat, little things like that.
Little things like that?
Well, yes.
Little things like bite-sized shredded wheat made from whole grain could help keep his heart healthy.
Lights out.
Just checking you're still drumming, Dad.
Bite-sized shredded wheat.
Lucky! 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 Lucky!
Any sign? No, afraid not.
Lucky! Lucky! Lucky!
Because we know you value your health, More Than's website gives you access to anything from a quick life quote to information on sore throats.
Lucky!
More Than, a new service direct from Royal & Son Alliance.
Cheer up, Lisa. He's only going for 2 weeks.
But what if he meets someone, Mum?
Well, make sure he doesn't. Comfort gives fabric that irresistible feeling of deep down softness.
Guess I'll see you then. Lisa, you're so soft.
You better go, Darren. Darren?
Tender, loving comfort.
Darren, you're creasing me now.
At Boots, we're having our biggest points event with an astonishing 10 points per pound. So come in this weekend and treat yourself. Now available at Boots.
You're lovely. Isn't she lovely, Nigel? Wherever did he find you, dear?
In the phone book, under Angel Escorts.
There are some things you really shouldn't share. And some things you definitely should, like cart door ice cream.
It's very good.
You got a card. Cart door.
Do you know what this place needs? Huge sheets of beaten copper along that wall. I see indigo. I see burnt umber. Goodbye, clutter. Hello, clean graphic lines.
Need a fresh look? Read the guide to modern living this Saturday in the Telegraph magazine and start collecting tokens to claim 20% off at the pier.
Ah, Craig, what do you think for the counter? Fake fur, crushed baked bean tins, army surplus camouflage netting?
The Daily Telegraph. Modern living to a T.
It's a rollover. So, this Saturday's jackpot is an estimated £11 million. Have you got your dream ticket?
From this August, ITV is launching its very own sports channel.
If you love football, you'll love the new ITV Sport channel.
There's 45 live and exclusive UEFA Champions League games.
Up to 100 live and exclusive nationwide league games.
15 live and exclusive Worthington Cup games.
It's in! So, there's only one place to follow your favourite team.
The ITV Sports Channel.
A new digital television channel available from August the 11th.
Just call this number. It's that easy.
Crime Stoppers, sponsored by SWEB Electricity and Gas.
Nearly a quarter of all crime recorded in the Avon and Somerset area is related to car crime. Simple steps and common sense can prevent us all from becoming victims. Every time you lock your car, don't leave anything in view. Possessions which may not be important to you, such as an old coat or a plastic bag, could tempt a thief enough to break into your car. It's easy to become complacent. An opportunist thief is looking for wallets, bags, mobile phones and briefcases. He or she will gain from your misery and inconvenience. If you have any information about this type of crime, you could receive a cash reward. You don't have to give your name or address. All calls to Crime Stoppers are free. If you can help, call now on 0800 555 111.
Crime Stoppers, sponsored by SWEB Electricity and Gas.
Hello, good evening. The late news now from HTV. Around 120 factory workers in South Gloucestershire were sent home early today and told they'd be losing their jobs. The Kingswood factory that makes tough safety boots and work clothes is switching production to Northamptonshire. The jobs will go over the next 6 months.
Staff here at UK Safety's GB Britain factory heard news of the redundancies when they turned up for work this morning. The production line workers were sent home for the day as the grim reality sunk in. Up to 130 jobs will be lost as the making of boots and workwear is transferred to the East Midlands. Warehousing and distribution will remain in Kingswood with a retention of a further 100 jobs. But it's the pressure from low-cost imports that's resulted in UK Safety merging companies and switching work away from the West.
We've seen the job losses in Clark's International. This year alone I've had in the Southwest and in Dorset. This is the 9th redundancy I've had to deal with right across all the sectors. In the footwear sector in particular, they are really being hard hit by pressures and cheap imports. And in fact, these shoes are being imported into this country and these people are paying the price for it.
Many of the workers have held jobs at the factory for some time, 30 or 40 years in a number of cases. The management view the cuts with concern. For their skilled employees, the future is bleak. Yet again, job losses have come in the name of restructuring. Workers here, despondent at the severity of the cuts, say it's taking the heart out of a business that's been established here for more than a century. Bob Crampton, HTV News, Kingswood.
Police in Weston-super-Mare are appealing for 3 people to come forward following an attack that left an 87-year-old woman with appalling injuries. Margaret Bosley was battered around the head as she lay in bed after intruders broke into her house. Police are anxious to speak to 2 boys and a girl thought to be in their teens who were seen running along a nearby street. The will he, won't he debate about whether Tory MP Michael Ancram would join the race to be party leader ended today when he confirmed that he would be standing. At the same time, he resigned as Conservative Party chairman. The news that he was in the running to succeed William Hague delighted members of his constituency party at Devizes in Wiltshire, where he's been the MP for the past 9 years.
Once he was the kingmaker, now he wants to be king. Michael Ancram admitted, though, that his decision to step down as Tory party chairman and run for leader was a very recent one.
As recently as last week, I had not contemplated standing. I am putting my name forward today because I have been convinced by so many people, both within Parliament and outside, that I cannot stand aside.
Michael Ancram was keeping quiet.
Back in Wiltshire, where Mr Ancram has been MP for Devizes since 1992, the day's events were followed with keen interest.
I know members of this club were very keen that he should stand for the leadership. I think this will be the beginning of the new Conservative Party if he is elected leader.
He's a very, very caring MP to us.
and we think very highly of him.
Just 2 weeks ago, Mr Ankrum was recording a 5% increase in his majority, quite a feat on an otherwise disastrous night. Previously MP for 2 seats in Scotland, where his father is the Marquis of Lothian, Michael Ankrum rose to prominence as a Northern Ireland minister. After the 1997 election defeat, he masterminded William Hague's leadership campaign and was rewarded with the party chairmanship. But there is a lighter side to this ex-lawyer, a fan of Bob Dylan and Buddy Holly, who showed off his skills at a recent charity concert.
Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London.
Today, Mr Ankrum, who was accompanied by his wife and 2 daughters, put himself forward as the man to unite what he called a broken party. But first he must come within the top 2 of a ballot of MPs before the grassroots members have the final say.
The jury in the Jill Dando murder trial have been warned that strong emotions in the high-profile case could affect their judgment. Defending counsel Michael Mansfield QC said strong feelings must not be allowed to influence the outcome. Mr Mansfield has begun his closing speech in the trial of 41-year-old Barry George, who denies murdering the television presenter. The jury was told earlier by the prosecution that George had told lie after lie to police after he'd been arrested. In the latest blow to hit the balloon industry, one of the biggest balloon festivals in the region at Longleat in Wiltshire has been cancelled because of the foot and mouth restrictions. The situation has become so bad that a crisis meeting is taking place between government officials and balloonists to discuss the future of the industry.
The Wiltshire Balloon Fiesta should have taken off from Longleat for the 8th year in July. Instead, organisers have had to cancel it because foot and mouth restrictions would mean traffic chaos.
All the traffic going in and out of the estate or into the estate must go through footpaths, and there is only one entry and exit open at the moment. I suppose the Balloon Festival really has it's suffering from its own success, because on the Saturday night at the Balloon Festival we get sort of 5,000 to 6,000 cars, 25,000 to 30,000 people, and it was felt, quite rightly really, that we couldn't actually cope with that volume of cars going through one entrance and one exit.
Wincanton Racecourse will be used as an alternative venue on the weekend of July the 21st. It's good news, however, for the Bristol Balloon Fiesta, which organisers say will definitely take place for the 22nd year in August. But for private companies, foot and mouth has had a disastrous impact. Pilots have been suspended from making flights since March, and hundreds of thousands of pounds has been lost. A crisis meeting is currently taking place between government officials and balloonists to discuss when the ban will be lifted. In the meantime, it's a frustrating time for pilots, not knowing when their next flight will be. Ellie Barker, HTV News.
Well, staying with flights, one of our region's cities, which is plagued by seagulls, has been brought in an expert to try and get rid of the flying nuisance. But even he says he doesn't have any easy answers to the problem in Gloucester, which could take years to solve.
Gloucester's gull population is doubling every 7 years. The mess they make is already regarded as unacceptable by some. So that's why gull expert Dr. John Coulson was brought in to advise Gloucester City Council's Environment and Ecology Forum. He says the gulls are a health risk. Half of them carry food poisoning bugs, not to mention the mess they make. And most methods which have already been tried to get rid of them simply don't work.
Birds of prey have been tried in a couple of towns, and they disturb the gulls whilst they're there, but 20 minutes after the hawk or the eagle has been taken away, then the gulls have just settled down again, and it just doesn't get rid. The birds get used to disturbance, so we've got to use a whole suite of different methods and gradually think of a 5 or 10 year plan to reduce the numbers. It's not something they're going to achieve in a single year.
He says the birds won't go away of their own accord, so the council must now weigh up its options if it wants to stop Gloucester becoming overrun with seagulls.
Now, if you've got a sweet tooth, then there's a treat in store for you this summer. For the West is boasting its biggest harvest of honey and strawberries in years, and it's partly due to the foot and mouth crisis.
These bees have certainly been busy this year. They've been making so much honey that even Pooh Bear would struggle to finish it all. A combination of good weather and foot and mouth restrictions, leaving fields untouched, have led to an explosion of wildflowers, producing more pollen for the bees. And after years of their swarms being decimated by the parasitic varroa mite, beekeepers are now welcoming the bumper harvest.
Not as much spraying has been going on, and spraying can sort of eliminate wildflowers or weeds such as dandelions, which the bees are very happy to go to. It doesn't have to be a flower, they're very happy with weeds.
Or even fruit plants. Fruit growers rely heavily on bees to pollinate plants and trees. And after a hot spell last month, the region's strawberry fields are packed with plump, ripe fruit, ready for the picking.
Normally we have a 5 or 6 week season, but this season it will only be 3 weeks. So it's important for people to come and visit us quickly and pick the best of the fruit.
And the pickers are already out in force.
I'm picking 15 for jam, and I should pick another couple of pounds for eating at home, for ice cream or cream.
What do you do with them when you get them home?
We make them into jam because we run a guest house and we just need loads of homemade jams.
The strawberries are not the only thing bringing colour to our fields at the moment.
The wet winter and the warm early summer months have been perfect growing condition for fruit. But with the foot and mouth crisis, some of the farmers were forced to stop spraying their fields with pesticides, which now means we're seeing a beautiful array of wildflowers, which have not been seen in this region for years. Myra Lee, HTV News in Bath.
A Somerset farmer has saved the life of her film star pig after winning a case at the High Court. Rosemary Upton has a farm at Storley near Wellington in Somerset. Grunty has starred in a film called Pig at the Ritz. He was due to be slaughtered as part of the foot and mouth culls, but Mrs. Upton barricaded her farm. And today at the High Court, a senior judge backed her arguments and ruled against a request by the new Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs to stop her interfering with the cull. Saved his bacon. Well, that's all from the Late News team. The weather forecast next. Bye-bye.
HTV Weather, sponsored by Stay Bright Windows and Conservatories. The clear choice in any weather.
Good evening. Well, we managed near perfection for Midsummer's Day. Lovely for revellers at Stonehenge this morning when the sun put its hat on at 4:55 over the Salisbury Plain, which in fact means that today was the longest day with 16.5 hours of mostly glorious sunshine. And we had some pretty decent temperatures as well, warmer than average in fact, and into the mid-20s in the south of the country. The frontal chart tonight's looking great too. A lovely dollop of high pressure will keep the country fine and dry with mostly clear skies. This system to the west looks threatening but will be kept well at bay until the top of next week. As you can see, if we run the sequence through to midday on Saturday, high pressure will still be dominating, but there's that system still out to the west. But what might happen is a trough could come in and bring with it a few light showers, but nothing too serious, and the overall picture should still be good. But back to tonight, it's going to be dry with a mix of patchy cloud and clear spells. The winds will be light northeasterlies, and it could become a bit nippy inland later on, with lows dipping to 7 or 8, and we could see some mist patches developing too. Friday morning may start cool with some early mist, but it won't be long before the heat of the sun kicks in. Nice and dry with oodles of sunshine and mostly clear skies, especially in the south. During the afternoon, some cloud will bubble up in the heat of the day, but it's going to be looking great. Lots of the golden stuff with highs of 23 or 24. Now, if you're sneezing away, you'll already know that pollen levels are high, but watch out because UV is high too, and with 6s and 7s you'll need to be very careful and slap on the old factor 15. Burn time just 20 to 30 minutes. And finally, good news for the weekend. Dry and bright on Saturday and Sunday. Lots of sunshine with just the chance of a shower on Saturday, with highs around 24 degrees Celsius. Very nice indeed. That's it. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a very good night. Bye-bye.
HTV Weather, sponsored by Stay Bright Windows and Conservatories. The clear choice in any weather.
Imagine a show where your favourite stars from your favourite shows battle it out. It could only mean one thing.
All-Star Family Fortune!
Will temperatures rise as the star chefs whip up a storm with those cunning game show hosts? Find out in All-Star Family Fortunes, Friday at 8:30.
There's a gunman on the loose, and nobody's safe.
It had to be you.
The only way to stop him is to never quit. The Bill, Friday at 9, ITV.
We take another slice of raspberry tart. Next on HTV is John Money turns DJ.
A convention-defying moment from Kahoot.
Mrs. Grayson, it's your husband. He's got at least 25 years to live.
And here's another convention-defying moment. The Kahoot Flexible Loan. Pay an amazingly low 8% APR. Kahoot, the interactive bank.